built Angkor Wat. Welcome to the land of temples, the symbol of Cambodia, the country of pagodas. Many believe that Angkor Wat was constructed by the Khmer Empire in the 12th century. And while that is true, the story behind it holds far more fascinating details. If the Egyptians take pride in the majestic pyramids on the Giza Plateau, the people of Cambodia are no less proud of the Angkor complex, with Angkor Wat standing as its crown jewel. Today, this temple has become a national symbol, proudly displayed on the flag of Cambodia. Angkor Wat was begun in the early 12th century under the reign of King Suryavarman Suna and was built as a temple dedicated to Vishnu. It was not only a religious monument, but also a testament to the power and prosperity of the Khmer Empire. The entire Angkor complex lies in Siem Reap province, northwest of the Tonle Sap Lake, and has been recognized by UNESCO as the largest religious monument in the world. It is estimated that more than 1,000 temples of various sizes once stood within this vast area. Among them, the two most significant structures are Angkor Wat, the largest temple, and Angkor Thom, the ancient capital, located just 1.7 kilometers apart. Angkor Wat alone covers about 162.6 hectares, making it one of the largest religious monuments ever built. The name Angkor Wat, in modern terms, can be understood as the City of Temples. Constructed mainly from sandstone, it blends the concept of the Temple Mountain, symbolizing Mount Meru in Hindu mythology, with long, narrow corridors that evoke both grandeur and mystery. The temple is enclosed by a broad moat and a perimeter wall stretching 3.6 kilometers. Its central sanctuary rises in 3 rectangular tiers, connected by deep passageways. What makes Angkor Wat truly remarkable is not only its immense scale, but also its exquisite artistry. Thousands of divine figures, graceful Apsara dancers, and intricate bas-reliefs depicting Hindu epics carved across its stone walls. The central tower of Angkor Wat rises 65 meters, taller than many church bell towers built in Europe before the 15th century. It is this harmony of architecture, combined with the sophistication of its carvings, that has made Angkor Wat one of the greatest wonders ever created by humankind. Beneath its soaring towers lie endless shaded corridors, adorned with vivid bas-reliefs that seem to bring to life the stories of a golden age long past. About 7 kilometers north of Siem Reap, Angkor Thom emerges like a massive fortress. Its walls, 8 meters high and nearly 3 kilometers long on each side, enclose an area of 9 square kilometers. Beyond the walls lies a broad moat, forming a natural line of defense. The fortifications were built from laterite stone, with ramparts running along the top. At the 4 cardinal points, east, west, south, and north, stand grand gateways, each connected by a straight road leading directly to the heart of the city, where the legendary Bayon Temple rises. According to many records, King Suryavarman II, who reigned from 1113 to 1150, was the one who initiated the construction of Angkor Wat, the largest Hindu temple in the world. Meanwhile, King Jayavarman VII, 1181 to 1215, the famed Buddhist monarch of the Khmer Empire, is credited with building Angkor Thom, along with many monumental Buddhist works, including the Bayon Temple and numerous other shrines dedicated to his parents. The contrast in architecture is striking. Angkor Wat reflects the precision and symmetry of Hindu design, while Angkor Thom carries the spirit of Buddhism, with serene stone faces embodying compassion and a sense of quiet humanity. There is also an intriguing detail. Many attribute Angkor Wat to Suryavarman II, partly because of a bas-relief depicting him found within the complex. Yet when compared to the grandeur and refinement of the entire monument, that image appears small, simple, and almost insignificant. This has led scholars to wonder, was it truly the work of a single king, or the result of an entire dynasty, perhaps even generations of Khmer artisans, who together shaped the wonder that is Angkor Wat? One of the first Western visitors to set foot in Angkor Wat was Antonio de Madalena, a Portuguese monk. He visited the temple in 1586 and was utterly overwhelmed. In his writings, he described it as a work of such extraordinary construction that it cannot be put into words, for it resembles nothing else in the world. He declared that only true geniuses could have built such a wonder. After the Khmer Empire's decline, Angkor Wat gradually fell into obscurity, swallowed by the jungle. It wasn't until 1860 that Henri Mouhot, a French naturalist and explorer, rediscovered the temple. In his journals, he compared Angkor Wat to humanity's most celebrated monuments. One of these temples might rival, even surpass, the Temple of Solomon in the Bible, and deserves a place alongside the greatest works left by Greece or Rome. Yet Mouhot could not hide his sadness at the stark contrast between Cambodia's glorious past and the harsh poverty of its present in his time. Like many Western travelers of his time, Mouhot found it hard to believe that the Khmer themselves could have built such a colossal monument. Some even suggested that Angkor Wat dated back to the era of ancient Rome. In reality, however, the history of Angkor has been pieced together through archaeological evidence. Its architectural style, intricate bas-reliefs, and the artifacts uncovered during excavations and restorations. What is striking is that, aside from the temples themselves, almost no traces of everyday life, such as houses, cooking utensils, weapons, or clothing, have ever been found in the Angkor Wat area. This absence only deepens the debate among scholars about who truly built the temple and when. There is one controversial detail. Many records claim that King Suryavarman II, who reigned from 1113 to 1150, was the monarch who initiated the construction of Angkor Wat. Yet he is also remembered for his failed campaign against Jai Viet and for dying around 1150, while in the 13th century, the Khmer kingdom itself was briefly occupied by Champa. This has led some scholars to question, could a ruler facing decline truly have been able to launch such a monumental project? To put things into perspective, let's look at a comparison. In neighboring Vietnam in 1920, the construction of Emperor Khai Din's tomb in Hue, covering less than 6,000 square meters, forced the Nguyen dynasty to raise taxes by 30% nationwide just to afford it. Or take Beijing's Forbidden City. Though much smaller than Angkor Wat, it still required around 1 million workers laboring continuously for 14 years in the 15th century. So how could the Khmer, with far fewer resources in the 12th and 13th centuries, have possibly built something as immense and refined as Angkor Wat? This is why some scholars have proposed a bold hypothesis. Perhaps Angkor Wat was not entirely built by the Khmer in the 12th century, as we have long believed. So who, then, is the true master behind Angkor Wat? One mysterious theory suggests that Angkor Wat is not merely a creation of the Khmer Empire in the 12th century, but that it lies along one of the energy lines of the Earth, a vast network of straight alignments known as ley lines. Over the past few decades, researchers have noticed that many of the world's most famous ancient monuments appear to fall along a strange alignment. From Easter Island with its giant Moai statues to the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx in Egypt, the enigmatic Nazca lines in Peru, the ancient city of Persepolis of the Persian Empire, the ruins of Mohenjo-Daro of the Indus Valley Civilization, Petra in Jordan, one of the new 7 wonders of the world, and even the Himalayas, the Dead Sea, and the Qiantang River in China. And remarkably, Angkor Wat is also situated on this line. What's astonishing is that satellite measurements show these sites align almost perfectly on a great circle around the Earth, with a margin of error less than 1/10 of a degree in latitude. Because of this, many refer to it as the energy vein of the Earth, a pathway linking extraordinary structures that seem far beyond the capabilities of ordinary ancient civilizations. And so the question arises once again, was Angkor Wat truly built by the Khmer, or could it belong to a prehistoric civilization that vanished tens of thousands of years ago? There are bold theories suggesting that, when compared to the pyramids of Egypt, Angkor Wat may reveal similar mysteries. Some fringe researchers argue that the three Great Pyramids at Giza, towering over 100 meters, show signs of water erosion, possibly indicating they existed long before 2500 BCE, making them far older than the conventional dating accepted today. Meanwhile, the smaller pyramids of Egypt appear crude and less durable, raising the suspicion, could the greatest monuments be the legacy of a prehistoric civilization long vanished, with later dynasties merely imitating them through smaller constructions? Of course, this theory is highly controversial and not widely accepted in mainstream scholarship. But in Cambodia, a scientific discovery in 2007 truly changed how we view Angkor. Using satellite imagery and field surveys, international researchers revealed that Angkor was not just a handful of temples hidden in the jungle, but in fact the heart of the largest pre-industrial metropolis of the ancient world. This vast city spanned between 1,000 and 3,000 square kilometers, supported by a complex infrastructure, most notably a massive hydraulic system designed to control and distribute water for agriculture and daily life. At its peak, Angkor is estimated to have sustained between 750,000 and 1,000 inhabitants, an enormous population compared to any city of its time. This shows that Angkor was not merely the temple symbol on Cambodia's flag, but the beating heart of a brilliant, powerful civilization. And so the question remains, could Angkor Wat truly be the remnant of a prehistoric civilization, one that disappeared long before the Khmer ever wrote their chapter of history? But clearly, mainstream history has never spoken of such a prehistoric civilization. Yet archaeological discoveries and modern theories suggest another possibility. Angkor may not only have been the pre-industrial city of the Khmer, but also the remnants of an even more ancient civilization. Some scholars argue that Angkor Wat, along with parts of Angkor Thom, may have first been established by people of a prehistoric culture that existed before the current 5,000-year cycle of civilization. Later Khmer kings such as Suryavarman II and Jayavarman VII may have simply continued the work, adding new structures on top of what was already there. This could explain why some temples in Angkor Thom are of noticeably lower quality and durability, crumbling more easily, making it difficult for later generations to distinguish between the original heritage and the later additions. This reality recalls the case of the Egyptian pyramids. The three Great Pyramids at Giza are remarkably precise and enduring, while many of the others are smaller, more rudimentary, and far less durable. It is possible that the greatest wonders were built by a lost civilization, while the lesser monuments were merely imitations created by later dynasties. Human history, it seems, holds mysteries far beyond the imagination of the modern mind. Perhaps to uncover the truth, we must be willing to let go of long-held assumptions and what has been written in textbooks. For only then can we truly see the real origins of wonders like Angkor Wat. What is certain, however, is that Angkor Wat has left millions of visitors in awe, not only stunned by its majestic beauty, but even more intrigued when they learn that UNESCO has recognized it as the largest religious monument in the world, and that Cambodia has chosen it as the proud symbol on its national flag. Based on historical and archaeological records, The theory that Angkor Wat was not built by the Khmer in the 12th century has always been controversial. But in recent years, one particular figure has stirred the debate even further. Praveen Mohan, an Indian vlogger and amateur archaeologist. He has presented arguments and numbers that have made many people reconsider what they thought they knew. According to traditional records, King Suryavarman II is said to have built Angkor Wat within 37 years. But Praveen Mohan calculated that with its vast area of over 1.6 million square meters, the temple would have required at least 10 million cubic meters of stone. If that amount were divided across every minute of labor in 37 years, assuming workers toiled 12 hours a day without rest, then every single minute they would have had to quarry, transport, carve, and place 1 ton of stone. That is virtually impossible, especially considering the main quarries were located 80 kilometers away from Angkor Wat. To cut, shape, move, and fit multi-ton blocks with absolute precision every single minute, something nearly unthinkable even with modern technology, would have been an extraordinary challenge. Even if we assume that King Suryavarman II mobilized as many as 1,000 groups of workers, the numbers still don't add up. The enormous workload would only be reduced to about 1 ton of stone every 17 hours. But with the primitive tools available 900 years ago, was that really possible? Inside Angkor, the contrast in craftsmanship also raises doubts. Some Hindu bas-reliefs and statues are carved with astonishing precision. The stone blocks fit seamlessly, the surface is smooth, and the joints almost invisible. Yet many Buddhist statues added by later kings are far less refined, with rough, uneven joins that are clearly visible and much less polished. This stark difference has led many to wonder, could it be that the most exquisite parts of Angkor Wat were not built by the Khmer at all, but were already there? Remnants of an older, long-lost civilization? One question continues to puzzle many. How could there be such a vast difference in construction techniques between monuments built within just a few decades of each other in the same Angkor complex? While Angkor Wat and the major temples display astonishing precision and durability, nearby stand smaller stone towers built clumsily, deteriorating quickly, and incomparable in quality. Independent Indian researcher Praveen Mohan argues that these crude structures are the true works of the Khmer from about 900 years ago. The grand and exquisite wonders, he suggests, may have already existed, remnants of an earlier, more advanced civilization. And the mystery doesn't end there. On one bas-relief at Angkor Wat depicting the battle between Vishnu and Indra, Praveen noticed a striking detail, a figure standing beside Indra holding an object that looks exactly like a telescope. The carving shows one end placed at the eye, the other pointed toward the object being observed, precisely how a modern telescope is used. And yet, mainstream science maintains that the telescope was only invented in the early 17th century by Galileo Galilei, more than 400 years after Angkor Wat is believed to have been built. So how could the Khmer have depicted such a device in the 12th century? What's even more curious is that this mystery is not unique to Cambodia. In India, at the Surya Sun Temple in Konark, there is a similar carving showing a battle among the gods, where one figure appears to be using an object that looks remarkably like a telescope. Even more astonishing, other carvings at the same site depict objects resembling rockets or war machines, things utterly unknown to the ancient world. And then Angkor Wat reveals yet another surprise. On one of its stone walls, archaeologists discovered a carving of a strange animal, an elephant with 4 tusks. At first it seemed like pure imagination, until paleontologists confirmed that such a species, the 4-tusked elephant, did in fact exist, but went extinct around 2 million years ago. Fossils of the animal have been found on the island of Sulawesi in Indonesia and are now displayed at the country's National Museum. This raises a profound question. Did the artisans of Angkor actually see this creature when it was still alive? Or are these carvings ancient memories passed down from a civilization that vanished millions of years ago? Not only the four-tusked elephant, within the Angkor complex, researchers have uncovered other strange carvings as well. On one stone pillar, they found the image of a creature with an unusual head and a tail that always extends straight out. Many have noted its resemblance to the saber-toothed hyena, Dinokrakuta, a predator that went extinct some 26 million years ago. This raises the question, how could ancient artisans have imagined a creature that had disappeared tens of millions of years earlier? Or perhaps they possessed knowledge, or even distant memories, passed down from a civilization long lost to time. Angkor Wat holds not only biological mysteries but astronomical ones as well. Each year, on only two special days, the spring equinox, around March 20th, and the autumn equinox, around September 20th, the sun rises or sets in perfect alignment with the central tower of Angkor Wat. Standing at the main gate, visitors can witness the sun lining up exactly with the highest spire, a level of precision that seems far too exact to be mere coincidence. This raises the question, how could the Khmer 900 years ago have identified such precise astronomical events, then planned and built a colossal monument in perfect harmony with the movements of the cosmos? And it doesn't end there. In another carving, the Hindu sun god is depicted seated at the center, surrounded by 9 figures with hands joined in reverence. Many researchers believe this may represent the solar system, with the sun at the center and 9 planets revolving around it. But here is where it becomes truly strange. Neptune was only discovered in the 19th century, and Pluto wasn't identified until 1930. Neither of these planets can be seen with the naked eye. They require a telescope. So how could artisans in the 12th century, or perhaps even earlier, have carved such an accurate model of the solar system, complete with all its planets? This remains one of the greatest mysteries that modern science has yet to fully explain. So how is it that artisans in Cambodia, 9 centuries ago, could have possessed astronomical knowledge so far ahead of their time? Knowledge detailed enough to depict not only a telescope, but also planets that wouldn't be discovered until centuries later? If Angkor Wat truly was built in the 12th century, then the carvings of extinct animals must surely represent echoes of a distant past, while the depictions of telescopes and the solar system appear like windows into the future. How could the artisans have known about events from millions of years ago, and also things that would only be discovered centuries later? Some have even proposed a bold idea. Were they space travelers? Did they possess a time machine, allowing them to journey into the future and back into the past, recording what they saw upon stone? And if so, what was their true purpose? These questions, together with doubts about the dating, the scale of labor, and the technology required to build Angkor Wat, make it hard to believe the monument was erected only 900 years ago. Perhaps it belongs to a civilization far older, a prehistoric culture with a level of technology far beyond what we have imagined. Of course, the theory of evolution teaches that Homo sapiens only appeared a few 100,000 years ago, and that the very first civilizations emerged no more than 10,000 years back. That is what is still written in today's textbooks. But could the truth be more complex? Could religions and beliefs such as Hinduism or Buddhism have reappeared again and again across different cycles of civilization? Even the swastika symbol has been found across multiple prehistoric cultures. So perhaps Hinduism and its myths and legends were actually passed down from an ancient civilization long since lost. And now the question is yours. What do you believe? Was Angkor Wat truly built by the Khmer in the 12th century? Or is it the surviving legacy of a prehistoric civilization? Mysterious and far more powerful than we can imagine. You've just watched the video, Who Really Built Angkor Wat? If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss our upcoming videos about the world's greatest mysteries. Angkor Wat, Khmer masterpiece, or the mark of a lost civilization? The answer remains open, and perhaps humanity will continue debating it for centuries to come. Yet it is precisely this mystery that gives the temple its enduring allure. Thank you for watching, and see you again on the next journey.